I got married in July of 2005. My husband thought that it was his job to help me realize my potential in ways that he envisioned, whether or not they agreed with what I was interested in or what I liked. But I did it so that I could make him proud and please him, I guess you could say. But it was hard. It was next to impossible to keep it up for any length of time. And then eventually he would get frustrated. And then he would say he couldn't do anymore. And then he'd ask me for a divorce. And that particular cycle repeated probably every 1.5 to 2 years after that. And then in August of 2015, I went to volunteer at the kids camp with the general counsel in Orlando. He called me. He was really upset. The puppy had made a mess, but I was driving and I was like, we need to talk about this later. I'm driving right now. I can't be really aggravated. I'm on the highway. So he hung up, and when we got to Orlando, we hit the ground running. It was a very, very full schedule that week. And then I got home and he was not there. He didn't come home for 2 days. And he said he just needed to try living life his own way. Shortly after that, he moved into the guest room and just stopped telling me where he was going or what he was doing, and just kept working. And so I just kept praying. I just started digging deeper into scripture and to study. But it was hard. It was really hard. In September of 2015, I got a call from my mom. My dad was in the emergency room with a major heart attack. My husband's reaction was, he looked at me and his eyes were just blank. And he said, I'll let my mom know so she can pray for him. And that was it. And I think that was when I realized just how far he had distanced himself. And I felt really alone. Really alone. Everything was shaking, and I only had God. So I continued to study, and I started journaling. At the end of that month, my husband finally asked me for a separation. So I basically brought in New Year's by praying, by reading the Bible, and just seeking God. When I joined the worship team that January, they welcomed me with open arms. They immediately became family. I met some of my best friends through the worship team and developed those relationships. One of my friends encouraged me to get out of my comfort zone even more, and so they invited me to their small group. And I wasn't alone anymore. I was in the spiritual battle of my life, and my involvement in the worship team, in ministry, and then being involved in a life group. Kind of like Moses, they held up my hands while I fought. They fought alongside me. And I couldn't have done alone. June 11th, 2018, my divorce was finalized. I know that it's never God's perfect will for marriage that it will end. But I know that God, even with our human mistakes, refines us. He uses that fire to create something beautiful from the ashes that are left behind. And the beauty of my life right now is a close relationship with God, a closer relationship with my church family. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. And I will continue to grow. And I will continue to discover who I am. And I will continue to develop my identity as a daughter of God.